you, and help me give Kate Vasyliw a warm welcome.
Can everybody hear me?
You want one of yours.
Oh, okay. So, forget these notes.
Okay, did you?
That's okay.
Okay, are you good?
That's okay.
All right, you can
Sure.
clip it
Yeah.
if you want.
I don't know where.
Oh, and do you guys want to,
Yep.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
let's
done.
pull that
Yeah,
down.
we're
Hi, everybody. Wow.
I know, tough act to follow.
That,
right?
oh my God, yeah. Those guys were amazing. I was saying to Mina before, I said, I'm really nervous. I'm not used to talking to so many people. And she just said, tell everybody you're really nervous. Get it out there. And then she sang that song for her child. It was like, calmed me down a bit. So thank you, Nina, wherever you are. Hi, this is amazing to be here. Thank you so much, Jan, and all the lovely ladies from Sivritson for inviting me. It's amazing to be here to celebrate Inuit art, celebrate art in general, but for me, Inuit art and the prints from Cape Dorset. It's so important for isolated communities like Cape Dorset to have art, to have a voice, it gives them a feeling of self-esteem, importance. It's important for a thriving community, an art scene, any kind of art scene. And there are similarities in, as Jan was saying, with Glen Ray and Cape Dorset. It's 1,200 people in Cape Dorset.
The mic.
Sorry.
Oh.
I am still nervous. Yeah, 1,200 people. Is that okay? Can
Yes.
everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, 1,200 people in Cape Dorset, and yeah, since the co-op started in 1959, the arts community has been thriving ever since. So important for the culture there. So important for the economy there. So today I'm going to talk a bit about the printmaking processes and the world-renowned Cape Dorset prints. And I also wanted to say that I love Grand Marais. I just got in yesterday. Jan's been taking me around. I met a lot of you already, and everybody's so friendly and so welcoming. So thank you, and thank you for coming out and celebrating art. This is Tim Pitsilak on the left. And Kietsik Niviaksi is the printmaker. That's the drawing for the print. The center photograph is the stone block. Sorry, I gotta remember to do this. The center is the stone block, and then the right, of course, is the final print, which you can see in person behind the screen. Dorset Fine Arts is where I work. Dorset Fine Arts is the marketing office for the West Baffin Eskimo Co-op up in Cape Dorset, Nunavut. All of the work that is purchased up in the co-op up in Cape Dorset is sent to us in Toronto. This is just a shot of the showroom. So we distribute the work throughout the world to places like Sivritson, who come and visit us once a year and pick work out. Prints and anyway, this is a map to show you where Grand Marais is and where Cape Dorset is, and the distance is about from, if you were to go from here to Mexico City, to give you an idea of how far it is. These are some shots of Cape Dorset. I just wanted to just go into a little bit about what I do at Dorset Fine Arts. So I'm in charge of all of the drawings and the prints. So all of the prints that are produced up in the co-op in Cape Dorset are sent to us in Toronto. So they're printed, they're chopped, and they're signed by the artist. And what I have to do is I have to title them all. So the writing that you see on that, I do that. I number them, I get them all ready to go, And for the etchings, I chop them. Yeah. By the way, sorry, I wanted to ask, if anybody wants to ask questions while I'm doing this, please feel free to, because you might forget and I might forget to say something, but ask questions if you'd like to.
Does chop mean to trim them?
There's a chop, no, actually, they're all trimmed, the paper's all trimmed, and they're pretty much ready to go except for the titling and the numbering. So the numbering from, it's usually an edition of 50. So I have to number them all and title them all. The artist has already signed it. This, just, we'll see some of there, but there's a little chop here, that's the printer's chop and the igloo chop. And on the etchings, I'll go into that later, but on the etchings, there's a WBC chop, Dorset Fine Artist chop.
Does the artist actually determine the title, or do you do that?
It's sort of a combination. We try to get as much information from the artists as we can, and if they supply us with a title, that's great. If not, we do it at Dorset Fine Arts and they approve it. So these are just some shots of, that's one of the printmaking studios, and it's a hotel behind that was just being built. Kingite Mountain. Some kids playing.
Oh, sorry. We go back.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. So this picture was taken in 1960 with Terry Ryan on the left, who was the general manager in Cape Dorset from 1960 to 2009. He actually came to Toronto and was the director of Dorset Fine Arts for a while. He retired in 2009. And these are some of the prominent artists that he's with at the time. And this is a more recent shot of some artists and printmakers from the shops. And in the middle, the woman holding the cake is Sherry Boyle, who is a well-known Canadian artist, and she was a visiting artist up in Cape Dorset. So over the years, we've had several visiting artists come and share their knowledge. And actually, I think that the visiting artists learn a lot more from the Cape Dorset artists than the other way around. This is the lithograph shop. So this is a stone cut block. So stone cut and stencil really is a unique printmaking process to the north. So I don't know of any other community that does it. It's based on the Japanese wood block. So in late 1950s, when James Houston went up, he had been in Japan, and he had studied woodcut. And so he brought that knowledge with him, and they used stone up there to start doing stone cuts.
Is it all the same stone, like what they make carvings?
It's actually a slate.
It's a slate.
Yeah, they started using a slate. I'm not sure what they used at the very beginning, but now they use slate. So every print starts with a drawing. This is Kenojuak Ashevak, she pretty much was the queen of Cape Dorset. I don't know if you recognize her name. Those both are her prints. So that's her drawing. This is Tim Pitsilak drawing for the print. What's the name of that print? Sorry, whale sounding or
Whale sounding.
Yeah, you just
and
bought
whale, whale and an amountic is the other one.
Is the other one, yeah. So that's Tim Pitsilak drawing that. That's Vasyliw drawing. That print, this was a huge drawing, but it turned into a much smaller print. So once the drawing is decided on, like if it's selected by artists, the printmakers, the studio manager up there, then it gets put onto the stone. So that's Ashuna tracing the artist's work onto the stone block. Then they get into the very meticulous and labor-intensive process of cutting the stone. That's a very old shot, I think from the 70s. Kavava Manami cutting a Kyojuak print. So once the stone is cut, the printmaker has it to where he wants it, then they have to start inking the stone. So when you get a chance, maybe later, you can actually come and take a look at this stone that we loaned. This gives you an idea of the process, the detail and the process of cutting the stone. So, actually, I'm sorry, I missed a spot. The white on the stone block is a white paint that is put on top once, before it's even cut, because to be able to draw on the slate, you wouldn't be able to see it. So a white paint has to be put on top, and then the stone cutter can see. So that's what the white is on there and on there. That's a shot of some of the rollers that they use for the inking. So you can see them inking. I don't know if you guys have this print. It's the Tim Pitzilak one, the Sedna.
The
whales.
No.
Anyway, I think you do, and we'll look for it afterwards. So yeah, so what they have to do is ink different colors with the rollers very, very carefully. They have to be really precise, because the area that they haven't cut is what they need to ink, so everything else has to be really, really clean. Just some more inking.
Oh, look at that.
Just feel free to ask any questions.
Hence the reason why they have so many different flavors.
So once the inking is done, then the paper is put, it's actually a Japanese paper, it's called washi. It is put on top of the stone block, registered very carefully, put on top, and the printmaker begins to rub with a spoon so that the ink comes through the paper.
So the view side, the
Sorry?
finished piece of work is what soaks through the paper, or is it the part that
well,
comes in
this
contact
is
with
what
the
you're
block
seeing
or
is
the
the
stone?
back.
Okay.
Mhm. That's the back of the paper.
Okay.
So they have to rub the ink so that the ink shows through. So that's the print. You guys have it, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
you do. Okay, so those little bubbles,
Mhm.
that's this print right here. That it's a Tim Pitzilak. So yeah, it's really, the whole thing is labor intensive, just meticulous work, back-breaking. They're just, they're over top of the stone, carving it. Then the pulling of the print. So once the ink is rubbed very carefully and the printmaker is satisfied with it, he pulls the print. Now this print, it's not finished. There's going to be stenciling on this. So this is just actually from the stone cut.
So all the colors are put down at once?
That's right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's really, really time consuming.
And for
And
each
the
print, do you
artist-
For
clean?
each print. So once that's done, it's hung up to dry, and then another one is done. So the block has to be clean, and then the next one is done.
And the original artist doesn't necessarily work on the stone.
No, that's the difference with some other, well, like with a lot of artists in the South, they actually do their own printmaking, like Carrie does. Up in Cape Dorset, it's the tradition since the beginning, from 1959 is the first print collection. The artist is you know, there was a drawing program, so all the drawings are purchased in the co-op, and a drawing is selected, and then it's the printmaker that's actually doing the work. So these are the prints hanging to dry. That's the one, yeah.
So how long does it take to ink the stone and then
Depends.
press it and then, I suppose it depends on the
It takes a long, I don't think they can get a lot done in a day.
Really, of one print.
Of one, yeah,
Wow.
of one particular print, and that's, we're talking an edition of 50 plus proofs. So it's really, it really takes a lot of time. And the printmaker is such an important part of the whole process. Of course, the artist is the most important part of them, because without the artist, you don't have the image. But the printmaker, you know, is really doing all the labor. So it's quite amazing. So the stenciling is not always done, but quite often it accompanies a stone cut to give really nice tonal variations. So it's a stenciling paper that's used, and it's cut with a very, very sharp knife. The printmaker decides what section of the image is going to be stenciled, cuts it out, puts it over top of the inked, with the stone cut ink, and then stencils with a stencil brush, very carefully.
It's doing it
Again,
on the print. On the print.
on the print, yeah.
Chops.
Yeah, so the chops, the chops from the beginning, at the very beginning, since 1959, the chops were the artist's chop and the printmaker's chop. And then in the 70s, the artists stopped doing the chops and they started signing the prints. But the printmakers still have their chops. This identifies that it's their print. They were the ones that did this print. So that's just a selection of chops. So what the chop is just a little bit of lino cut with the syllabics for the name, and then put on a block of wood so that it's easy for them to register where it goes. So that's Kietzek doing that, right there, putting his chop on. And then this is the famous igloo chop, the Kingite Studios. This really identifies that the print is from Cape Dorset. It's from the famous Cape Dorset Kingite Studios. If you don't see that chop, it's not a Cape Dorset print. So then once all of that process is done, you can see here this is the printmaker's chop, the igloo chop. The artist signs the edition. So you can so now these are the images of the prints that you saw being worked on. So you can see, I don't know if you remember from before when Cavaval was pulling the print, it was just the black and I think the red in the middle and the gray. So everything else is done with stencil for that the really subtle tones.
There's that.
You lost me when you
Sorry.
said the Cape Dorset chop. I
Mhm.
get it. And right above that is the printmaker's chop.
Yeah, so the printmaker always has their chop.
But what's the third thing right
Sorry.
underneath that wolf's hip
The little
there?
red.
It's the artist.
No.
Oh, sorry.
So there's,
That's
yeah, right, that's one.
That's the igloo chop. Yeah, that's the printmaker's
Right, and
chop.
then what's right above
That's
that?
the artist's signature. So it's done in pencil.
Okay.
Yeah, so since the 70s, the artist started signing the prints.
But you said something about a date.
Yeah, in 1959, from the very beginning, all the prints, the artists had their own chop. But then, I don't know what happened, but in the 70s, at some point, I think it was 72, 73, the chop was eliminated for the artists, and the artists started signing in pencil
And then
each print.
dating with their signature?
They were dated when they're titled.
Okay.
So when the editions come down to Dorset Fine Arts, I title and put the date in.
Okay, thank you.
So if you could stop there, so just wanted to talk about what they've been working on the last couple of years. It's called a reduction print. So it's even more work. The printmaker cut out the original shape of the bear, the two bears, and printed it in a light gray. So you can see the light gray underneath.
Oh.
So all 60 prints were printed, then dried. Then the printmaker cut the stone. So all these marks here, the printmaker cut all that into the stone. Then he had to register it and print on top of the light gray. So he printed a dark gray on top of the light gray. So they've been doing a little more of that, and it's quite.
Can you explain what registering is?
Okay. It has to be registered on. So if the original one, the light gray, is already finished, so they have to make sure that that is going to be in the exact proper spot, so that it's not off. So that it's not off center, or it's just bang on. So, they have to put marks on the back so that they know exactly where they have to lay it down.
Sounds cool.
So I don't know if you saw the Ashuna was tracing the caribou at the front, so that's the finished one.
Cool.
That is going to be in the 2015 collection, so you get a preview.
Oh, sweet.
It's Ningyukuluk TV. That was the older shot from the 70s.
Can you go back a slide once? So it's the printmaker who decides like where to put the white, or is that in the drawing? Has the artist indicated that? Is it sometimes some of each?
So, it really depends on the drawing and the printmaker and the artist. So there is a collaboration up there, but with stone cut, I don't think it's so close to the drawing as it would be with a lithograph. So that, it could have been the artist working with the printmaker on that. But quite often the printmaker does make the decision on what color to put down. And do you remember the large drawing that was being worked on? That's the finished, and that's actually a reduction print as well. So lithography started in 1974 for the 1975 collection, and it's been around since the 19th century. But in Cape Dorset, it was really considered a new thing for them because they've been doing stone cut since 1959. So this was really kind of new and exciting for them. So lithography, again, starts with a drawing. A drawing is chosen for the print collection, and the artist will re-render it onto a stone block, limestone block, or a plate. A lot of plates are used now just because it's just easier to handle. With lithography, the stone, there's such a long process with the stone. You have to level it and get it exactly perfect. The beauty of lithography is that you see the artist's hand. It's like looking at a drawing, but it's an edition of 50. So that's Napachi Putugut working on a lithograph. So the substance that they use, the artist uses, it's an oily substance on the stone or the plate. It's like a grease pencil. I think it's called a touche. They can use a wash or a pencil, and they draw directly on the stone and the plate. Then it's processed, and I want you to take a look at that drawing because I'll show you the print in a little bit, and you'll see how different it is from the original drawing. So the lithograph is processed with, I think, gum arabic and acid, and it gets to the point where the surface is ready to pick up the ink. So it's inked with rollers, and whatever was drawn picks up the ink. Then each one is, of course, rolled, I think. And then pulled. And with lithographs too, registering is really important because it can be several different colors. So we're looking at several different plates. So registering is really, really key, because you do not want it to look off at all. It's got to be bang on. So that's him registering the paper on the stone, pulling the prints, and then these are the images that you saw being drawn on the stones. So this was the one that I wanted you to see the difference, how it changed from the drawing to the print. So that wasn't her drawing on the actual stone, it was the drawing. So they changed it at some point, and I'm not sure if the printmaker influenced the artist or not, or if she just wanted to do it that way, but it changed quite a bit. It was a great print, self-portrait. That's a tough one, so many different colors, really difficult registration.
Copper or aluminum?
The litho, for the lithos, the stone is actually reused. It's ground down to get level and reused. With a plate, it just has to be destroyed. I should actually, before you go on, CJ, I should actually talk about that, about the importance of the plate or the stone block being destroyed, because it's only an addition of whatever they're doing. It's usually 50, and it has to stay that way. So you don't want this to get out in the world somewhere. You don't want a plate out there where somebody can make some more of them. So they're all destroyed in some way. Either they're like with etchings, they can be punched, holes can be punched through. With a stone cut, it can be, just slashed through an X, and with the lithograph, it's either ground down or the plate is destroyed. So etching and aquatint, intaglio was it was used up in the studios for a while in the 60s and 70s, and then they stopped doing it. And then in 1994, Studio PM in Montreal started going up to Cape Dorset with plates, and he'd invite the artists to draw on the plates. He took the plates back to Montreal, proofed them, got approval from Dorset Fine Arts and the artists, and then printed them there. So all the etchings and the aquatints are drawn up in Cape Dorset, but they're printed in Montreal at Studio PM. So,
was that done on metal, that last one?
It's copper, yeah,
Okay.
copper or
Aluminum maybe?
zinc. Thank you, copper, zinc, yeah. So a ground is put on the plate, and Paul takes all the plates up to Cape Dorset. The artist, this is a Hotuck Mikigak, so the artist uses a very sharp tool to draw on the plate, taking off the ground. It's an acid-resistant ground that they use. So the line is put right into the plate, and then Once the artist is satisfied with the way it is, it's taken back to Montreal, and then it's dipped in acid so that the acid digs into the drawn line. Pidalusicella. That's Paul, and Maoriac, Ashuna.
Maoriac is Ojito's mother.
Right.
Yeah, everybody remembers Ojito, that's,
Sure,
that's
we
his
know
mother.
Ojito,
Yeah.
sure.
They do some, actually, I'm sorry, if you go back, see, they do some proofing up there while Paul's up there, but the finished work is all done in Montreal.
Are most of the prints on paper to be framed, or?
That depends on the galleries. So I'll explain once we're through this what happens with all the prints for the annual print collection. Yes.
Are the Inuit people doing the work in Montreal then also?
It's not, no. So yeah, that's been Lucy. We're working on. So these are some of the prints that Sivertson has taken, and I just thought it would be nice to show you what the artists.
Wow, that's wonderful. Looks like a self-portrait in that one. Yes.
That was from last year's collection.
That was like, what possessed him?
I've been in that swarm. And that's, is that sister?
Siasi Kenyeli?
Who's she?
I'm not sure.
I'll have to look at her.
She came to visit in Toronto, so we took that picture of her in Dorset Fine Arts. And that's it. So with the annual print collection, it's released every October, and there's usually anywhere from 28 to 38 images in each collection. There are usually editions of 50. So all of the editions are sent down to Dorset Fine Arts. We prepare them, we title them. If they need to be chopped, we chop them. With the etchings are the only ones that need the chop. And if there's an etching here, I can show you later. And then they have to be prepared for all of the galleries. So galleries take either one set or two sets, and they get like a full set of number 2 of 50 or number 3 of 50. So all of the sets go out to different galleries, whoever wants to take the print collection. And it's been going on since 1959, and they're working on this year's, the one that you saw, Cuddle, that's going to be in the 2015 collection. So it's quite remarkable that they've been doing this for 55 years. This will be the 56th collection.
No question, I don't want to get heavy, but how do the artists get paid and when?
The artists get paid for the drawing, and the artists get paid for signing the prints. Then they get their artist approved, which they can sell.
They can sell it.
Yeah, yeah. So all the drawings that are brought into the co-op are purchased. The drawing program started in the late 50s, early 60s for the print collection. It was specifically for the print collection to gather images for the collection. Now drawings are sought after everywhere. A lot of people are having drawing shows, and everything that's brought into the co-op is purchased.
So for instance, Severson's gallery here,
Mhm.
you were, for this year's, what do you call it?
Print collection.
Print
Yep,
collection.
the Cape Dorset annual print collections.
So if they were your second orderer, would they take number 2 of the entire collection? So they would have number 2 of all 38 prints, and that would end up in this
Exactly,
gallery?
yeah, if
Okay.
they were to take the print collection, yeah,
Mhm.
they would get an edition number, depending on what it was.
Yeah.
It's different all the time. 30 or 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every print from that collection they'd get one of each, the same edition number.
Same edition, so number 2, number 2, number 2
Yeah.
for every.
And it's always released on the same day, so it's been a tradition that the third, I think it's the third Friday of October is always the annual print collection release. And galleries, have an opening and all on the same day.
Does the company own all the rights to the prints, and is it profit or not for profit? Does the money go back to the Inuits or the
It's-
profits?
Yeah, it's all belongs to the co-op. So
Oh, yeah, it's a
I work for the West Baffin Eskimo Co-op in King
Okay.
Ed Studios. They're my boss.
So they make money, you make money.
Yes.
Mr.
It
Business
all goes
person
back
here.
around.
Did you say Klingit?
Sorry?
Did you say Klingit?
Klingit? No.
Did you say
Kingit.
no?
Kingite, sorry, Kingite, Kingait. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's the Kingite Studios,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, are there any other questions?
Is
Yes.
there significance that the artist sign in pencil?
I'm not sure why, I think it's pretty traditional, isn't it,
Mhm.
Kari, for artists to sign prints in pencil? Yeah, I think the pen would be kind of strange, I don't know, I think it's just it's a tradition for, not just in Cape Dorset, but everywhere, that it's, yeah, for printmaking that the artist signs in pencil, yeah.
Inks and Bay and Smith.
Sorry?
That's
Yeah,
usual.
that's true, yeah.
That is very true. How can you get good at pronouncing the names from there when you're not used to it?
Well, I'm probably not pronouncing them all properly. I do my best. And, I've been there since 1998, and I've gotten better at pronouncing the names. When I first started working at Dorset Fine Arts, I was just brought in part-time to work on the print collection for that year. And man, was I ever blown away by the images. I had this preconceived idea that Inuit art looked a certain way, and when and I'm an artist, I should have known better, but anyway, I saw the collection for that year, and I just thought, wow, I mean, the colors, the imagery, everything was just incredible, and I just fell in love with it. I'm really passionate about the prints, they're amazing. Yes,
Who establishes the final price?
Dorset Fine Arts. So our little team, we
So
price it for the market, yes.
they have to sell at a certain price to keep the price in line or something?
Well, there are many factors to determine the price. It's, it's the artist's stature, it's the size, it's, how complicated the print was. It's a few different things, and, what the price for that artist, what they normally get. And if that artist's career is going, if they're a very popular artist, their work their prices are getting higher. So, yeah,
How many drawings are submitted from the community every year?
wow,
Ballpark.
thousands probably. We
How
have,
do
just
you-
at Dorset Fine Arts, we have drawers of drawings. So, they weren't all used for prints, and a lot of them, they come down to us because each drawing is purchased.
So you get thousands of drawings, and it's whittled down to the ones that you choose for the prints, the 30 or whatever
That's right.
images. How-
That's all done up up in Cape Dorset.
And is it, do
print
they have a
selection.
board? Is it who does that? Is that some of the artists, some of the printmakers?
It's Bill Ritchie. Sorry, I should have mentioned him. He's the printmaking studio. He's the printmaking studio manager up in Cape Dorset. So he plays a big part of it. The printmakers play a big part of it, and some of the artists too. If they, if there's an image that they really want printed, they can suggest it.
So they judge each other's work, the printmakers and the artists too,
Mhm,
as well
mhm.
as their
And-
own.
Yeah, and some of the artists are also printmakers, like Vasyliw Manamy. He's an artist and he's a printmaker, so he prints a lot of his own images.
How many prints do you do a year?
How many prints in the collection?
Yeah, you've got the 15 coming out, how many prints will be in that
We're not sure yet.
one? Or the 14?
It's
then?
we're still getting the prints coming down, so that's all done. I have a very busy summer. It's preparing the prints, titling them, getting them all ready for the fall release. And I'd say we have about 20 right now, but they're still in production. They're still working up there right now.
I mean, if
So
you go to 50 or 1,000 or?
it usually, it's anywhere from about 25 to 38 images per year.
And then 50 of each of them.
Yeah, 50 of each. It usually doesn't go over that. It's usually 50. It rarely goes under. It doesn't make it in if it's less than 50. Any other questions? Hi.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One is, do you have a sense or idea of the ages of people that are submitting the drawings? And the second is, are there actually Native people moving to Cape Dorset to work in this program?
All the artists that are involved in the program are actually, most of them are from Cape Dorset. Like Tim Vasyliw is from another community and he moved to Cape Dorset. So that does happen, but most of the artists they were born in Cape Dorset. Sorry, what was your first question?
The ages of people submitting drawings?
Well, we're trying to encourage younger artists to come into the studios and to bring drawings into the studios. Cape Dorset is quite different because when we say a younger artist, they're usually in their 50s or 60s. So a lot of artists have started later. Like with the year I started in 1998, I don't know if any of you have heard of Vasyliw. I just absolutely adored her work. She started drawing, I think, in her 60s. And it was just incredible. It's incredible. It still amazes me how much talent there is in this small community of 1,200 people. It's remarkable. Without any, real training. I mean, it just seems innate. Hi.
Do you have a favorite printmaker or artist?
Wow. I love Vasyliw Manamy's printmaking. I think he's just like, for me, because I have to prepare all the work, he's so precise and he's so clean. There aren't any, he's a really accurate and clean and precise printmaker. He's really, really good. And, sorry, artist? Oh my God, that's a tough one. Well, I'm going to say someone that's not here. Shuvanai Ashuna. Her work is a little bit more, it's a bit darker and not so accessible, but I really, really like her work. Knojuak, wonderful. And I'd have to say, actually, for printmaking, Ningiukuluk TV. She's sort of, I think, we're thinking she's going to be the next Knojuak. Because her work lends itself so beautifully to prints. It just, the owl there is hers. The little cuddle print for 2015 is hers. It's just, she's just got such a beautiful sense of design, composition, graphic is just bold and beautiful, and she's just perfect for printmaking. Like her work is just perfect for printmaking.
And how old do
So
you
it-
think she is?
Well, she is 52, I believe, because a couple of years ago she was down in Toronto for another gallery, had an opening. It was actually of her drawings, and she came down for the opening. So, and she had just celebrated her 50th birthday. So she's 52. Yeah. So she's a youngster.
And that is her, those are her owls.
That owl is hers. Yeah. Yeah.
Is the Cape Dorset Co-op just printmaking, or has it always been just printmaking, or are there other art
No,
forms?
no, 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 sorry. I was just focusing on printmaking today because that's what, I work for Dorset Fine Arts and I'm in charge of the prints and the drawings. But no, the co-op buys sculpture as well as, Jen was saying, the 2 new Sharkies that are there and many other. Yeah, so we, in our showroom in Toronto, we have a lot of sculpture. A lot of sculpture from a lot of different artists. Yeah,
Which
a lot of
originates
talent.
also,
Sorry?
which originates in Cape Dorset?
Mhm. Yeah, yep, the stone, as Jen had said before, the stone is all from up there. And, yeah, they work up there, they sell it to the co-op, and it's sent to us. And we distribute it to galleries. Yeah.
What happens to the drawings that don't get turned into prints?
Well, they come down to us in Toronto, and as I said, drawings are becoming more and more popular, so a lot of
So then those are sold?
galleries are having,
Okay.
are having shows with it, just, or they're just, they're for the archives.
So just keep them.
We keep them,
Kind of
yeah.
museum setting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yes. So, thank you so much.